Like we're good. Ready? Okay, 7 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and call to order the regular meeting of the Almont Community Parks and Recreation Board for February 26th, 2026. And the secretary usually does the roll call. Is that correct?
Jennifer Simonetta.
Here.
I'm here. Melinda Steffler.
Here.
And Dennis Weirs.
Here.
Eric Gentry. Not here.
And next is the approval of the agenda. I have 2 additions to make. We have the financials to add to the consent agenda. It's in your packet, and Melissa emailed those. And then under regular agenda items, I'd like to add number 8, Facebook post authorization. So we need to decide on someone to update our Facebook page. Are there any other additions, deletions, substitutions to the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda with those additions.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? Okay, the consent agenda is approved. Or regular agenda is approved. And we have the consent agenda, which includes the meeting minutes for November 2025 and our January 2026 meeting. Are there any comments, corrections, clarifications on the meeting minutes? Appreciate all the detail that went into these, Melissa. That was
Yeah, if you want
very
less,
nice.
just let me know.
So we need a motion then?
Well, if there's no comments or corrections on the meeting minutes, we can take a look at the financials and then we'll do the approval of the consent agenda. So as you likely know, we do have a new clerk treasurer for the village that prepares our financials. So they may look a little bit different as Randy gets up to speed and learns Kim Kiesler's ways. And I noticed it does look a little bit different, which is not a bad thing. And hopefully this is helpful for all. Are there any questions about the financials?
I don't think so. I looked through it today.
Mm-hmm.
No, Melissa, you were treasurer last year. Did you notice anything
It's
that looked
shorter.
different to you, or is there anything of concern when you were looking through it that you wanted to talk about?
No, it's just a little bit like when Kim sent me the report, it was usually 9 to 11 pages long. So she had the bank statement in there, but no, this looks like how it was and there's nothing that
So no
is stepping
missing
out.
details.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be helpful to have, and this isn't a criticism of Randy. I think they never really are like a document that's easy to read through and understand. It could be helpful if we were shown maybe the different categories of funding per the budget. but I don't know if that's just me. As we set aside money for like, when we're budgeting for regular maintenance, capital improvements, just general and maintenance of the park. So it is broken up into some of those categories, but I don't know. It's not entirely clear to me.
So when you're looking at the amended budget there, you'd like to see some more detail. Is that what you're thinking?
I think so.
Okay.
Or some type of a little bit more detail
Okay.
for us. And maybe it's somewhere in between what you used to get from Kim, Melissa, and what we have here.
The big one, yeah, that one.
This is all park board revenue? Wow.
Except for the state grant funds, that's what we are hoping to get. That's not actual.
Yeah, that's not real, right?
That's not
That's not real. It's just a budgeting thing that they have to put in there
Okay.
that if you remember, we were thinking that we were going to be able to get our tennis court project
Mm-hmm.
funded through a grant. So they just put that as a placeholder in the budget. So yes, we don't have that. $200 and some thousand.
Mhm.
Our balance is 57,281.
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
That's how I read that.
That's how I read it.
Well, actually,
Sort
sort of
of.
the 55 though.
Not yet.
I think the
Where-
ending fund balance is the
It
55
might be 55, yeah.
minus
Oh,
the
'cause-
liabilities, because I think we had to pay out the accounts payables, right? So I think the ending fund balance would be the 55,132.
That makes sense.
Okay. That's
On the second page.
The 1,431. 50.
because we've got. What was that? It was, yeah, it's a little confusing how they've got it broken up.
And it could possibly be helpful if we had Randy come to a future meeting and maybe walk us through how it's presented and what maybe some of our options are, so we can see it a little more clearly and understand what all the line items mean.
Yeah, because I think it was this check disbursements page that was cut off, right, that we didn't get to see
Yeah.
exactly what was paid.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
think
I did get her, I just didn't forward it. It was from yesterday.
that's okay, but I think that, I think we had payables out for the 1,777, and then, so I think the ending balance should be that 55. But maybe if we can see if we can get Randy to come in and walk us through what that process looks like, and then we'll probably have a better understanding of how it's being reported out.
Right. I agree that would be helpful. Any other comments or questions? Any other comments or questions on the financials? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve consent agenda as presented.
Support? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, consent agenda is approved. Next on the agenda is communications. I did not have any. Anyone else had any communications? Being none. Next on the agenda is time for public comment on any agenda items. Audience members, any public comment tonight?
Yeah, the DNR Recreation Passport Grant, is that just a request from the DNR for like the grant tonight, or is that something different?
So it would be a request that the park board would make of the DNR.
Okay.
And you'll hear more about it coming up. Thank you. Public hearings, we have none. And that leads us to our first agenda item, 2026, Music in the Park. Jen?
All right, music in the park. All right, so I passed out just a little packet I put together, and I'm sorry, Mindy, I didn't get to see your email on Sunday. I totally missed that. I will
That's
be
okay.
better about Sunday emails. But tried to draft up a couple of things, getting us ready for 2026 Music in the Park season. So just kind of borrowing on the template that we used last year. What you're looking at is what could be the cover letter for our fundraising packet that we pass out to our local business sponsors. My thought was that this year, to simplify the fundraising, I guess, season, we put together a packet, which is a cover letter with the sponsorship form, and we pass it out to every single business in Almont, drop it off and say, hey, here's what we're doing. We're collecting funds to sponsor bands so that we can put on music in the park. This is what we're collecting the funds for. We're hiring the bands. If you sponsor a band, if you donate money, you're going to be, you're going to be put on promotional materials.
Mhm.
You're going to be on the banners. We're going to promote you on the Facebook pages. You'll be able to come to the park and promote your business. You'll be helping to pay for this. You'll be helping to pay for this event. Here's how you can help to drop your money off. You can put it you can donate your check to the village office directly. You can contact a village board member to come pick up the check for you. Here's an example of what last year's banner looked like. Now, this is just a draft. So again, looking for input here. Read through it. Let me know what you're thinking. This is taken up an example of what we used last year. If you don't feel comfortable having your name on the cover letter, that's just fine. We can take it off. I'm just looking to hopefully have a couple of people on here to help collect checks from the local businesses. Just giving a couple different avenues. I know some of the businesses last year did mail their checks directly to the village office, drop their checks off directly. I picked up a couple of checks. I know Sherry and Terry picked up a couple of the checks. Just trying to make it a little more streamlined so that we don't have to do 3, 4, 5 times follow-ups with the local businesses.
Right,
Because I know that we're smaller and we're trying to save ourselves some time. So
correct.
example letter. Highlighted the May 1st date. I don't know if that's a reasonable date or not. I think it could be. I don't know what the deadline is for printing materials on the banners. Sherry handled all of that. I never printed a banner for something like that. And if we're talking about reprinting all of the banners, and again, that was something we talked about. Do we want to reprint banners? How many banners? Are we going to run banners? Terry had a banner at his house. Melissa, I know you ran banners at your house.
I've got one in mind.
You got one at
Yeah.
your house. Are we doing full banners this year? Not that will add lead time to the project, right? How far in advance do we need to collect all the funds if we're going to be printing in the newspapers and trying to print banners? Those are things to consider. So that's just a date I put in there as a placeholder, highlighted that as something that's just an informational piece.
Sounds like a reasonable time frame. And we do have money left over from last year to sort of kick it off if we need to have an initial investment, and we haven't had the donations come in yet.
Right. So we have a little bit of money. Now, one of the things last year, just as far as cadence and how Sherry and Terry ran the event last year, the first thing they did was hire the bands. They committed to the bands. And then they put a band schedule with the fundraising packet. Now, I think that's a little bit risky unless we're ready to commit park board funds to covering anything that we can't make up in fundraising and sponsorship. So that's something we would need to decide on, I think, today. I think the first question is, one, are we going to make a committee that runs Music in the Park? Or are we going to run it with just the 4 of us, 5 of us? It is the park board. How do we make those decisions? So last year it was, we hired the bands, we committed to whatever the band fees were, and then committed to sponsoring and fundraising for that amount, and then put that band schedule in the sponsorship packet. So we have, and you'll see in this packet of information I've given you, if you go to your last page, we have right now 6 bands who have shown interest in participating in our summer events. 2 of them are our $1,500 bands, unfortunately, our most expensive ones.
Do we know if the people who sponsored them last year are gonna?
I haven't called anybody, I
Okay,
haven't
yeah.
started anything, so.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Some people or some of the businesses had preference on, this is the band I want to
Mhm.
sponsor, which would be fine.
So we can start doing callbacks. My thought is, now that we're starting to think about this, for the bands that we don't know their cost, we can start doing callbacks and say, hey, it's great that you're interested. What's your summer schedule look like? What's your band cost? Let's get that information first. We need to, for these bands that were solely sponsored last year, does your sponsor want to come back and sponsor you? If no, hey, that's great. We're going to have to contact your sponsor and see if they're interested again. We're restructuring, we're rebuilding, hold tight. I think that's the first part. We also have a question about how many events we want to run this year and if we wanted to change up the cadence of our events. Did we want to move from Thursday evenings to a different day of the week? Do we want to shorten our event schedule? I put also some scheduling options in your packet, which I believe was page 3, just to look at what the summer event schedule could look like. I think Thursdays, I don't think it's a bad day to run a concert schedule. Thinking about a work week, I think by Thursday people are probably ready to go out and stay out later and maybe enjoy a summer concert. But I'm also open. If the board feels like we want to move the event schedule, that's just fine. We would just need to reprint some materials and re-promote it. I think it's totally possible. So I think we just need to make some decisions. We've got bands that are interested, which is great. We've got 6 bands that are interested now. Last year we ran 8 concerts. We ran 8 last year.
With one kids night?
1 being kids night.
Right,
So 7 total concerts, so 7 bands.
7 bands.
7 bands, 1 kids night.
Mhm.
We could certainly cut off the June one and we could run just July and August if we wanted to shorten it.
I would like to see that. It's so hard, like the 4th of July.
So we can start after
breaking
the
it up,
4th.
yeah. Just because that would be, we're skipping a week between, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we always skip the week of the 4th because I think we assume most people are busy out of
On
town,
vacation.
traveling,
Yeah.
vacationing. Not an ideal week to try and run a community event. Last year we did run the first concert the last week of June. We could, if we wanted to simplify things, we could not start in June. We could start the week after the 4th in July, and shorten the event schedule.
I like that.
If I count 8 concerts, Jennifer, that would be skipping the week of the 4th. You'd still need 8 concerts for July and August, right?
Well, nope, so in my concert schedule there, if you're looking at the schedule options that I presented, the week of the 4th is skipped.
It would be 7. So if we,
And concert 8 could be kids night if we still want to run a kids night. So we would only need to hire, so we could scratch concert 1. Let's eliminate June if we want to simplify things. And concert 8 could be kids night. And then we only need to hire,
we already, the 6th, that would be exactly what we need.
and then we have that number of bands that are interested. We wouldn't have to go procure more bands. We could just call back everyone who's reached out to us so far and shown interest, fundraise for their fees, and that might be it. Maybe we don't need to go reach out to additional bands. We have a lot of people who want to come play for us. If it fits their schedule, maybe we
Right.
can work them in.
Yeah, maybe we leave for now kids night flexible as we're scheduling in bands. If I'd hate to cancel one over the other when we could easily make that one a kids night.
So not necessarily make it that last slot.
Yeah, I think maybe leave it flexible for now.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree that, that June date probably runs into a lot of people's scheduled vacations. It seems like a very popular one.
So maybe
if
this year we don't start in June.
We start July.
Okay.
That also gives us a little bit more time to get our bearings and get everything set up.
We have a smaller group this year. Yeah, we're restructuring. I think that would be just fine. So let's start the week after the holiday in July. Do we want to stay Thursdays?
I think Thursday, that's what people are used to.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's good. And I don't know about conflicts with DDA events, Melissa, if you are aware
We're-
of any.
We're still trying to figure out if we're gonna do summer events, and we were doing it working around the Thursday music in the park,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Okay.
leave it as it is for now.
Okay, so let's say Thursday nights, we'll scratch concert 1. And we'll go tentatively, we'll try to do a kids night on concert 8, that slot. But if one of our bands really wants that slot, we'll say.
Or
we'll
isn't
keep it open for
available,
him.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I
Okay.
think that's wise.
So I think that's good. So I've got these 6 bands right now that want to play.
So you don't have to recruit another band.
Right now, so far. So I'll start doing callbacks on these bands. Let me reach out to all of these folks who have contacted us and said they want to play for us. Let me understand their schedules for Thursdays during the summer and see if it fits with this Thursday schedule that we have. Let me understand what their band fees are and see if we can work them in. And if I can find a schedule that works for them, then I'll start asking for, I think then what we need to collect from them is they have to submit their tax information because we have to pay them from the village. So they have to submit their tax information from us to be payable from the village. So if they want to play for us, I'll try and tentatively build a schedule of bands, have them submit their tax information, and I'll build a schedule of bands. And we'll say, this is what's going to be our band schedule. We'll say it's going to be Thursdays from 7 to 9. We'll keep our same schedule that we've been running for the past few years. I think if we like the cover letter for the fundraising packet, we'll say May 1st, fundraising deadline. Let's try and get as much money as we can in by May 1st. We'll use this as like our fundraising packet. I didn't change the sponsorship levels that Sherry and Terry had been using. I don't know I know that there was some conversation about that last year. How do we feel about the gold, silver, bronze, and other sponsorship levels as far as printing that large banner that goes in the park? I think that's one that we should print. It's got the schedule of events. It really highlights who are the major sponsors of our event. Do we like those sponsorship levels?
Yeah, I don't see any reason.
Fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if there was any feedback on them last year or.
Okay. I think we just stick to it. Make sure everyone is printed appropriately per their donation amount
Yes.
and just hold to it. Okay.
Yeah, one suggestion I have on the cover letter,
Yes.
Jen, is to identify one person to contact with questions
Okay.
as opposed to putting all of our numbers. So just so that we're not all getting calls and trying to communicate, it'd be good if there was just 1 or 2 points of contact.
Okay.
And, you could certainly list our contact information, but I think it's best if they know, well, I have a question, who should I call with my question?
Yeah, I agree, that's consistency then.
Mm-hmm. Right, so they don't get different answers from any of us.
Okay. That sounds good. And I can be the primary contact. Okay.
Good. I like that volunteer.
Okay. I can do
So,
that.
the one of is somebody sponsoring one of those $1,500 bands, Jennifer?
Well, okay, so the $1,500 band. So that, and I was really hoping it wasn't going to be our $1,500 bands that wanted to come back. So if we look at these guys, so last year, the 2XL band, French Drain Man solely sponsored them. So my thought is I will call the 2XL band. I'll talk with Phil and say, hey, what's your summer schedule look like? Do you have a Thursday open? Let me understand what their schedule looks like and say, I need to contact your sponsor and see if they are willing to re-sponsor you this year. And then I'll be in touch. And then I'm going to have to reach out to French Drain Man and say, hey, do you want to sponsor this band again? If they don't want to, I don't know that we can bring back another $1,500 band. It's a lot.
Or the second one is what you're talking about?
So now the second one, they were, that was an interesting one that came in. They were a new band for us last year. That was a dental office out of Romeo that was recruited to come play. And they did not have a sole sponsor. They were one that we just had to cover through multiple sponsorships. So, and this is where I don't know, I don't necessarily agree. I think it's tricky. Hiring a band before you have the funds to pay for them at that rate is risky when we're trying to do this all off of fundraising.
And thinking back to the survey that you sent out, were there any particular comments about bands or type of music people were interested in hearing?
I think the survey in general was that people were open to all different types.
Okay, there wasn't
Um,
one overarching comment about, oh, I really want this type of music.
Nobody in the comments specifically named anything. And I think when it came to ranking the performances throughout the summer, there wasn't like a standout performance.
Sure.
Kids Night. Kids Night was
Kids
one.
Night was, I feel
the
like, was a
community loves Kids Night.
very positive.
But when it came to the bands,
Mhm.
there wasn't like a standout band
Sure.
performance. So that one, not having a sole sponsorship, that one might be
It's a
hard to
little
invite
tougher.
back.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then, the question is, do we want to look for other bands? Do we want to try and procure other bands? Do we want to rely on the people who just want to come back, right? So $1,500 is a lot to fundraise. We could put out a post. We could put out a call that, hey, we're looking for local bands who might be interested in playing music in the park.
And it's good to have a selection or a variety because, we have the exact number of bands we need, but they might not fit with our schedule.
It might not.
So I don't think it's a bad idea to put the word out that if there's bands that are interested in playing, to get in touch with us.
So that's a thought too.
I think it's reasonable to do that.
We could utilize.
How would you do it, Jennifer?
We could use the Facebook page.
I have somebody that played at for a heritage festival that was nowhere near $1,500. They're playing for us again, and I think that we could get them for a lot less than $1,500. I don't know how much less, but she is awesome. So,
And I guess, kind of just my personal opinion, I would love to see Music in the Park sponsoring local Almont community talent. And I can tell you, Oak Street Brass is not local Almont community talent.
Right.
And for $1,500, I would love to see Music in the Park being more of a community event. And
Highlight,
if we could really start to promote that as as a stage for our musicians, I think that would be great. So I don't know, do we put out a Facebook post?
I think that's
social
what she
media
is.
seems to
Yeah.
be the way to reach
I think that's
people
it's just
these days.
It's easy.
But I would
That's a good
love,
idea.
we have, so we have 6 people have reached out to us. We don't have to go with the first 6. I would love to talk to some
So I
people.
think it's an excellent idea to try to promote the locals. First come, first serve. If you fill this thing up, then maybe we can open up June, who knows?
Yeah.
And keep the costs down, but you're right, it would be great to have the locals. Are we constrained by paying for these bands to donations only? Or can we use money out of the general fund?
I don't know.
We could use money.
I don't know how
We
you
haven't, I don't
constrain
think
that,
we have.
Because to me, it's a community benefit
Mhm.
and,
It's just
and
an
we have a
event.
reasonable budget. So
Um,
don't knock yourself out because you don't have enough donations. I would go forward with, if you need it from the board, I support using whatever balance we have in whatever you call it, the general fund, I guess, from what I would say.
I'm sure there's one of the line items is Eve probably for,
Yeah, I was curious. I was looking at, I didn't see,
I
how
don't see it
this
broken out
picnics,
either.
okay, it's $7,500 is our budget for picnics and festivals.
What is that?
7,500 for
where would
picnics
they
and
have booked the
festivals.
overage from last year?
I feel like I asked Roberta about that, and I think her response was that she just kept track that was how much.
Okay.
I don't know if Melissa, if you
I
had
don't know.
Like
any,
which
I
ledger
have
it
no
would have gone into?
I
If
have
it
no
was
idea.
just- she just knew.
Just knew a number and it was in
that
there
was,
somewhere. Okay.
yeah, it was a very specific number, and I don't know if we have to worry too much about it because it seems like it's always been covered,
Okay.
but certainly it's good to just keep an eye on.
I believe 2 or 3 years, 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, we did not have enough money and we had to pull for it. It wasn't a lot of money though. We had most of the covered by donations, but we did not have enough money, if I can recall correctly.
For the past 2 years, we've
Yeah, I think it was
Been
3
over.
years ago where we didn't have enough money.
I think it's mindful just on the printing costs and advertisements. We just want to try and keep it in line with our sponsorships. And I think we're probably also trying to reach a wider audience of businesses than has in the past. So maybe that will result in additional donations.
Okay, so I guess as far as next steps, so we've got Thursdays, we'll stick with Thursdays. We'll scratch June for now, unless we get an overabundance
Overwhelming
of bands.
response, right?
Right, unless we have an overabundance of bands and we
Sponsors.
can fund it,
Right.
right? So for now, we'll scratch June, maybe fill it later. I'll start doing callbacks on the bands that have reached out to us just to understand their availability and confirm the cost for the ones that we don't have. I think I'd like to put out a post or like a call for local community musicians who would be interested in playing for Music in the Park on Thursday evenings this summer, if we could utilize the Facebook page that way. And you can I don't know if we want to give the village office or just give my email. I think that would be just fine. Whichever we think is the most appropriate. But yeah, whichever we think is the most appropriate, however we want them to submit
Their
their
interest.
band information.
Yeah, maybe leave it through the village for now.
Okay.
Maybe they can get that information.
If they're okay
to
with that, if you think
Yeah.
they're okay filtering that.
They've been doing it all winter. So. And I think I might have one more message here, but it's a digital voicemail. So I'll listen
Okay.
to it. And if it is about bands, I'll forward it on.
Okay.
So there might be an additional one.
Okay, perfect. So we'll start doing that, and then we'll want to start kind of finalizing this. Do we need a committee to start working on this before our next board meeting? If we need to start working on it, I guess, or start like finalizing the schedule. I mean, it shouldn't be just me making decisions. How can we keep this moving in between? Can we work just off email in between board meetings? Or how do we?
I think it's probably best if we had a committee as opposed to board member discussion and making decisions. It really should be delegated to a committee
Okay.
so that we're not, in violation of like Open Meetings Act by,
Okay.
continuing discussions that are offline.
Okay.
So if there's anyone who's interested and available in helping Jen.
'Cause I'm fine driving it. I just, I don't want to be the
Need
only
somebody
person
No.
making
Bouncing
decisions
ideas
on
off
this.
of
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah, I want to make sure that everyone, I want someone else's opinion on this.
I can help out, Jen.
Yeah, okay,
Mhm.
perfect.
Do you think it is a violation of the open meeting? I mean, that's a
Almost.
gray area. I mean,
To be emailing back and forth and making decisions. Yeah.
It could be. I think it's a gray area.
Yeah, and I like to stay out of the gray areas as
Roger
much
that.
as possible. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, if you put out an email that you wanted to meet, whoever could meet with you. I don't know what my schedule's gonna be like over the next couple of months.
You'd have to post notice and make sure that.
Just so you have some other eyes looking at it, Jennifer, and it maybe wouldn't have to be the same person every time? I don't know. Is that an option?
Probably best if we designate a committee.
Okay.
It could be you and I to go over things, bounce ideas off of each other, and
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then certainly if we needed to make a decision, we could call a special meeting. Now that there's only 5 of us, it's a little easier to get the majority members together to make decisions.
So you've been contacted by all 6 of these, Jennifer?
They've reached out.
I've gotten emails, so there's been information forwarded from the village office. I've
Oh, I
gotten some phone calls, I've gotten some emails. So just in the notes section there, I've got some notes about how I've received their information.
Roger that.
And I just, everyone's been told, like, hold tight, we're restructuring, we will start our planning very soon. We haven't committed to anything with any of the bands here yet. I've just recorded their information as best as I have it. And I figured that once we figured out what our dates would be, then we could start the callbacks. And I want to, for the ones where we don't have the band cost, we would confirm that. And then now that we've settled on Thursdays and we have our dates, I'll start reaching out to these bands to understand their availabilities for Thursdays this summer. And then we can start roughing out a schedule for these bands. But I do think I would like to put out a call for any other local musicians who
Yep.
might want to participate.
That's great.
That's very reasonable.
Okay.
Should we make, or should we have a motion designating the committee? I think we probably should. Jill?
Sure.
Music in the Park?
I'll make a motion to appoint Jennifer and Mindy to a Music in the Park committee.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, and thank you, Jennifer, for putting all of this together
Yeah.
for us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna have music in
We're
the
gonna
park.
make it happen. Yeah. It's happening. All right. Up next on the agenda is Park Pavilion Rentals. This is Melissa.
So last meeting, there were, I think, the things that more information, the board wanted was on the rentals, broken down by residents versus non-residents, and I put that in the one memo. It's a majority of it is residents. Really, like last season, there was only 2 non-residents and 17 residents, and so I have a feeling, I don't know if that's 19, if we have 19 availability, like dates, and it looks almost like that, because both seasons, we had 19 renters. So that was, I think we wanted that information to help us decide on the rental fees and the security deposit.
So right now, for a resident, it's $50, and non-resident, I got it right here. Non-resident is 100. Residents are 50, and cleaning fee is 50.
Or security deposit fee.
Security deposit, yeah. You think that's a big jump for the residential fee?
I do. I would rather, I agree to an increase in the fee, but I
Is 100 good?
think 100 is more reasonable.
I agree.
The non-resident fee, I don't know. So that they would both be going up by $50.
Right.
That would keep it consistent.
As well as a security deposit.
And the security deposit be up 100
No,
or,
200. I want to make sure nothing happens in the park, that they get their money back. You put up $200, they're gonna police their own activities, I think.
it's currently only 50?
Yeah.
I'm not,
Did we have any troubles?
Yeah.
We had, pardon?
We had somebody break the door.
Was that during an event?
That was during, no, it was during a rental.
Oh, was, okay.
And Angie mistook which day she was supposed to be doing inspection, I think. And so there were 2 days that it could have possibly been from, I think.
so we couldn't charge them, or we couldn't assess it.
Yeah, but I could be wrong.
How does the, typically, I always thought when you rent something like that, you write a check for security deposit. If nothing happens, you get your check back. Do we cash these checks?
Yes.
We cannot hold them. I think
Well, you can't hold them?
No,
They have to be cashed.
yeah,
Oh, no, that's,
that makes it harder. I really feel that this should be an affordable option for our families. I have a hard time having someone put down $300 to rent a park pavilion. That to me is really steep. Even though you get $200 back, I think that puts it out of reach for some families in the community. I would never want to do that. This is a community resource.
Yeah.
It should be available for everyone. I don't want to price people out of using the park pavilion.
so are you good with a $100 resident fee and $150 security deposit?
I really would rather it stay 100 for the security deposit.
It's 50 now, so it goes up $50.
It goes up, this just puts everything goes up by 50.
I'm good with that.
Jen, how are,
Okay, say that again for me, Dennis. So currently it's,
Resident today is currently $50 with a $50 deposit.
okay. And the
Non-resident is $100 with a $50 deposit. So everything goes up $50, would put the resident fee at 100, non-resident at 150, and security deposit at 100. Is that what you think, Mindy?
yeah, I mean, I still don't love it, but I think if that's as low as I can get it down to.
Yeah, I mean, and if you only had 2 non-residents, you know, the bulk of the rental is residential folks, so.
And it's probably because of, I have to feel it's probably because it is low cost for a resident, as it should be.
Yeah. All right.
If we're all good on those numbers, then there's others, there was one other
So I
area.
just, not to be like totally brash, but I don't know if our like facilities are worth.
They are absolutely,
There's some like electrical issues within
are we,
that need to be addressed. So my sister-in-law rented the facilities last year, and there's electrical wiring issues in the bathroom and in the kitchen. If you have the hand dryers turned on and the breakers turned on, and you open up the women's bathroom door, it'll turn on the women's hand dryer. There's a short. There's an electrical short in the wiring.
and I think,
And the engineers in my family could not, like, leave it alone. Like, see, if the breaker's turned on for the hand dryers in the women's bathroom,
Mhm.
and you open up the door, it shorts out the wiring and turns on the women's hand dryers. Like, and with the breaker issues with plugging in too many appliances in the kitchen and stuff, I don't know that, I'm not sure that we can go too high on facility fees. That would be my fear. Like, I think it would need some upgrading.
I think that we agreed that, and Roberta was supposed to reach out to Chad Pandurin to have him look at those things.
Okay.
That was something that we had previously just discussed, because either way, that has to be addressed. We can't just leave it like
Yeah, I mean,
that.
because it would become a safety issue or like a fire hazard at some point if we have
Yeah.
like electrical shorting issues.
So hopefully that can just get done, like we put that as something that we need to have addressed before the rental season. Maybe,
Who would do that?
or you could go to, RCI to have them take a look, maybe. If not, if Chad can't,
Chad is.
I mean, I'd
He
love to
was-
get an electrician out there at some point. 'Cause we had a thought last year, like we'd love to get some medicine lights put up in the pavilion and like kind of dress it up a little bit and stuff like that. But so I guess as far as like fees, I wouldn't mind raising a security deposit. I think there's something to raising a security deposit. I think it just reduces risk. As far as the actual rental fees for the community, I don't want to go too high on a rental fee.
I will say this. Between our labor, insurance, water, electricity, we're spending $50, if not more. So we're not making any money, potentially losing money. And neighboring communities don't even get electricity or bathrooms. You just get a grill and a pavilion with tables, and it's $70. The
Take it up to 75.
Lions Club is 300. I think their deposit is 300 or 500.
They don't.
Who's that?
The Lions Club.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But you get, I mean, a nice facility, bathrooms, all of that. I don't think we can compare
Yeah,
our pavilion
we
to
can't.
the Lions
It's just
Club.
them being close to us, like in location, I guess. We are priced so low compared to other places. I know you guys don't want to raise it, but I will say this, it is, the prices have been out of date for a while, and these other communities, I don't think that it's going to deter people from renting for $100, because you're not going to get someplace where you have your own private bathrooms, you have a kitchen, a fridge, a sink, lights, picnic tables, you have the playground right there, a grill. We're offering a lot, and the other communities aren't even offering half what we are.
But it's also not private, I mean, anyone could go use the picnic tables and
Or the
host an
bathrooms.
event with.
No, they cannot use the picnic tables. They're renting that pavilion
Oh, they,
underneath
yeah,
there.
they can't use the picnic
Or
tables, but
the bathrooms either, because they're responsible for cleaning the bathrooms, so they.
Well, anyone could
I
go
think
sit
we
on a
just-
picnic table and have a picnic.
oh, you mean if- without renting it,
Yeah.
you mean?
Oh, yeah, that,
I mean,
yeah.
it's not, I think, I would like to see maybe like a 2-year plan. Maybe we step up 75 this year and 100 the next year. I think jumping 50 in 1 year seems drastic. What if we did 75 for the residential fee this year with a plan to jump it up to 100 the next year?
Are we asking for a larger security deposit?
I think a larger security deposit would be okay. I'm just worried about the actual rental fee jumping up that high.
I don't think 100 is bad.
For-
I don't think 100
For
is
the rental
bad.
fee?
Kirby says that it could run as high as $100 in our minutes from, to cover the DPW, water, electric, and insurance. And it depends on how much you load up what you just talked about in the electrical, so. And that's gotta get fixed. That has
I mean,
nothing
that
to
should
do-
be addressed. We need to get
yeah,
someone out
that
to look
has
at the
nothing to
breaker
do with
box.
the rental. But
Yeah, once we get it opened back up. Jen, what was your thought on the non-resident fee?
It's currently at 100 and the proposal was go to 175.
And we talked about maybe bumping it to 150.
Okay with 150.
I mean, I don't mind the 75 resident, 150 non-resident, and then we leave the security deposit at 100.
I will say Dale's suggestion was $250.
To me, that's way too high.
I-
That's a lot of damage you would have to do to the park. And again, that requires someone laying out $250. I don't think it's that justified.
yeah, the dilemma is that you have to cash the checks. If you didn't have to
Correct.
cash the checks,
Then no big
Right.
deal.
what the heck is that kind of a ruling anyway? I don't know that anybody else does that.
I think it's an accounting thing because I believe someone checked with the village and they
Yeah,
said, we can't.
I mean, if somebody had to write a check that they were gonna get back for $200 or $300, that's different than having to cash it, then you don't have the cash.
Correct.
But if you're gonna make sure that nothing happens, you're gonna get your check back. But instead, we gotta cash the check and then send it cash back within 40. Where do these rules come from?
I think accounting.
I think we need to check into that because I'm not in agreement with that. If you don't, it makes that deposit a challenge, what you're talking about, maybe, because people have to lay out the darn cash.
Yeah.
Or if you write a check, you make sure nothing goes wrong, you get your check back,
Right.
tear it up.
Yeah. I can't have someone lay out that much money.
I
Yeah, I wasn't
don't disagree
thinking
with Mr. Purvis.
250.
He might be a little bit high, but if you have to cash the darn, that makes the difference.
I think it does too. Mhm.
What did Dale recommend? 200?
$250 for a security deposit. He didn't say so much. He was, even when I said like 75, he's like, you could be paying that much money in overhead. I mean, the goal is to have a park manager there. We're gonna be paying, in addition to paying that DPW, we're also gonna be paying another person. Correct?
But we'll be reducing the amount out to DPW. It'll be a shifting of the funds.
Yeah, more of a
So
shifting.
it wouldn't be a duplication.
Agreed.
So where are we at?
I'm thinking 75, 150, 100.
Is that your motion, Jen? Would you like to make that a motion?
Are we doing, do you want to go over the rest of the application, or do you just want to do that?
We probably should set the fees in its own motion
Okay.
and then any, additional discussion. Handle that separately. Before we do go into that, we have already had people, contact the village office, and I don't know if they ended up securing, but they have already using
Okay.
our previous rates, which we hadn't changed the fees yet, so we felt
We have
that
to
that was
honor
the
those.
what's that?
Should we have to honor them?
Yeah.
Yes, we would honor those.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that we wouldn't go back and ask that those were the rates at the time. If they go up, then moving forward, it will be at the new rate.
Sure. Yeah, we would set an effectivity for whenever we vote on it.
Correct. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So in your motion, you might want to include the effective date.
So. Okay, well, I guess that's the motion I'd like to make. I'd like to make a motion to set new rental and security deposit fees effective for today. What is today? February 26th. Resident fee at $75, non-resident fee at $150, and security deposit at $100.
Is there support? I think so.
If you want to.
Yes, I
We
support.
can keep talking.
I support it. Okay, we have a motion to amend the park rental fees, effective date February 26, 2026, setting the resident fee at $75, the non-resident fee at $150, and the security deposit at $100. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
Motion does not pass.
Does
We
it?
don't have a majority.
Majority? Okay.
Dennis or Melissa, do you have a counter proposal?
I liked the 100 and the 150 and 100. I mean, having done the park inspections for 3 years, it is knowing that we're not making any money off of it. Like, that is, oh my God, it makes me disappointed that the amount of weekends that I have worked around in the summer. I mean, at one point, there was probably at least like 5 or 6 weekends. So I don't know where we're going to be at, but I personally, I could not stand behind helping doing that if we're not making not even like $1, like, or we're pretty much breaking even. It's just, I'm doing it for the person, not for me. I set so that they don't have to pay more, but my time is, it's not going towards anything.
Your time has a value.
The park isn't a business, though.
Yeah, I agree. It's
The
it's
park
not there.
is a
It's not there
is
to
a
make money.
space for the community. We don't make money off the park.
Right.
The
Well,
park is a space that the community gets to go and enjoy.
I think that the money
And
that,
it's funded for out of taxes. We're already paying, these people are already paying for the park.
I think that the money that we do make on it helps to renovate the pavilion and the amenities that we do have. We've spent like $20,000 recently updating, and that that did not come from the revenue from the two places. It was, we had to dip into, I guess it was from past, however we got that revenue. But, and I know that we want to do more to it. And I know that these fees aren't covering, like even making much of a dent in it, but the money that we have, and I'm not, and I know it's not a budget, or we're not making money, but we're barely maintaining what we have. We have no room to even make improvements with our budget.
Well, I go by the minutes from Mr. Ferguson's comments that the park would cost between $80 and $100 at each rental. Would cost DPW wages, et cetera, et cetera.
Which minutes are you reading, Dennis?
Oh.
November, probably.
Yeah, November 20th. Under park rental charges,
Okay.
1, 2, third paragraph.
Okay, I see it now.
I'd make the motion to go 100 on the residential, 150 on non-residential, and 100 on the security.
Support that. I'm gonna just tell my.
So the increase in fee, it's like an increase of less than $1,000 for the whole year. But I feel like that impact is disproportionately more on an individual wanting to use the park. It does nothing for our budget in the grand scheme of things, but I think the higher we make it, could put it out of reach for people. Motion on the table for non-resident fee of $100, non-resident $150, security deposit was $100. That was unchanged. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Effective, same thing as
Yeah.
of today, February 26, 2026. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No.
Aye. All right, so we're
We're
for
kind of
Eric.
Yeah, we're at an impasse. I think we table this discussion until we have another board member present, but we can move on with the rest of the changes.
Okay, so as far as like permits, I sent Dale an email asking about if there was permits for live music, or if or amplified music, or if that's just regulated by our noise ordinance. I know that a person would need a permit for a food truck. The inflatables is not covered in our insurance, so the person would have to get their own insurance, liability insurance, and endorse us. My opinion is to not allow inflatables at all. They would have to show insurance policy to us and add us on. And I'm sure that they're not going to do that when they fill out the request. It's just more work for the village. I don't like that it's a liability. And those things are not like, kids get hurt on them all the time.
Do you see that that would impact, say, the Easter egg hunt or like other events that we have at the park?
I don't
Or
know.
just our rental?
Our rentals. I don't even know if anybody puts inflatables up there. I don't know that, where they
Don't
would put
recall
it.
ever seeing that, but
It might happen.
they have, I've seen it at events. I haven't seen it for people having like a graduation party
I
there.
haven't seen that.
Yeah. But I think it is a valid point of liability concern. That's the only question I had, is if that same policy carries over to other users of the park for events. Because
The renter would have to get it on for themselves, and for that, each renter would have to get their own, I think. Is that what you're saying?
No, so aside from, so if we, part of this rental application agreement, we said there's just not allowed. There are other events at the park, so like the Easter egg hunt doesn't go through this
No,
process.
and so then we would just,
Have a
we need to
separate-
make sure that they have it no matter what. Just like us, if we want it for kids' night, if we want to have an inflatable, we're gonna have to get insurance. But yeah, you're right. The Lions Club doesn't fill out one of these. They just ask us, and I think that maybe we need to consider having a more formal agreement in place with them when they use the park. Not like, I know we don't charge them a fee. But if they're gonna use something like that, I don't even know that they do. The Easter egg hunt,
I don't know what the Easter egg hunt.
I've seen them like do like maybe a little kiddie pool with the eggs in it. I
Yeah.
think that's what I've seen.
Maybe it was other events, because you're right, I can't remember it for the Easter egg hunt, but I think it's something to be aware of if we are approached about it.
Have the park been rented in the past with inflatables?
I've
don't-
definitely seen them there.
Pardon me?
I've seen them there. I've had my kids jump around in them at various
Yeah.
goings on at the park. I couldn't tell you what they were. They're kind of old now. I know it's happened.
Oh, it was for, you might be thinking of the Old Heritage Festival when we had it down there in the park? No? I know there was a bounce house then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Well, what's wrong with requiring them to carry insurance?
I will say that almost every single municipality that I've seen so far looked at their thing, they require them to carry a $1 million insurance, liability insurance. And I'm sure that's for a reason.
Better than just denying it, then they make the choice of buying the insurance or not.
It's up to you guys. Do you want me to? I sent an email to Dale asking, there could be something that maybe I'm not seeing, and he's been on vacation. I don't know, well, he just got back, right?
Yeah, he's back now.
So I'm sure he's catching up, that I'm not seeing, like, overlooking. I don't know, like, if other parks have liability insurance, like they carry that on their own policy, and then they allow them the renters to add it on. Maybe it's not even an option for people, because maybe it's only us that can get it, or I don't know. That's something that I would like Dale's input on.
So do you want to hold off on that?
Yeah,
Making changes for now?
I think so.
Okay.
That one is, I would like more answers,
Okay.
I think, on some of these things. Yeah. So if we want to just table the application until, I can hear, well, I'm sure I'll hear back from Dale before March.
Yeah. And those were the only changes that were highlighted. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I was like, we should just get rid of these questions. I think that the one thing that is maybe us asking is, do you have any form, are you planning on having any kind of form of entertainment or like having of any kind of vendors there? And then have a spot where they can specify, yes, this is what I'm planning on having, instead of asking these questions. And in that sense, like if they are planning on having a food truck, then the front staff, you need a permit.
Give them that.
Yeah, or I don't know if you need a permit for selling concessions. Is stuff that I'm at still need to connect with Dale on to find out, but yeah, so.
Application to waive fee, that didn't change, but we would have the updated fee information
Yep.
added to it.
Yep. And yeah, the only other thing was changed was we took Roberta's information off of it. And the checklist has stayed the same, maybe? I don't know if I added the verbiage at the top and the bottom. I think that I rewrote it a little bit. To go along with, if it's not done, then you're not getting your security deposit. So this is the one that, I guess we can, the checklist at least.
We can,
And that's
vote on
something that
approving the
no matter
checklist?
what, we still need a checklist for the
Yes.
people who are renting, have already rented it, so.
questions, comments, concerns about the checklist?
Are we supposed to collect this and turn it into the village office?
They're supposed to leave it there.
And then it looks like we
We're
sign and
supposed
date
to?
it, and then what do we do with it?
That's a good question. Do we keep them in a folder in there?
Yeah, or maybe just hold on to them until our board meetings and then leave them on Pam's desk.
You could take a picture and email it to Pam?
Yeah, you could do that too.
Sign it, snap it, email it to Pam?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I would just be curious what we do with it. Any
Mhm.
question? Just establish a policy.
Maybe adding that to the bottom of like what we do with it.
Oh, where it's left. Or is that what you're talking about, where they're leaving?
Inspection completed by date, and then
To be emailed to village office.
Yeah.
Something.
Oh, letting them know what we're gonna do with this after? Okay.
That would be easier, so we don't have to like drive it up to the village office or something. If we could just like complete, if it's gonna be waiting for us, I assume this will be waiting for us in the
it's
kitchen.
supposed to be there.
We'll confirm it, we'll sign and date it, and then if we can like snap a picture, email it up to the village office, and that would be confirmation that they can release the deposit then, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good idea. I think that's
Is that how we're gonna
easiest.
use this?
Yeah, it was how we were supposed to be doing it all along. It just wasn't
Yeah.
happening because they were giving it to them when they rented, but the renters just never brought it to the pavilion when they rented it.
Okay.
So,
If we leave them in a
we leave a
prominent
yeah.
place.
because just in case they forget, whatever.
Yeah, you hand
Yeah.
them a piece of paper and Yeah.
Chances are it's not gonna make it to the
on Thursday and then, right,
Right.
they've got to remember to bring it. So it's good, they can get one, but it's good if we have extras printed and available in the thing. Okay,
Okay, makes
so
sense.
Melissa will add that.
Yep.
Bring it back to the next meeting. Up to you guys. So in the village, we make them stay till 9 for council. I don't know what you do on the township side.
We don't have 2-hour meetings.
We do have a ways to go. So about 8:30, we'll sign off and let you guys go. Like it's a good hour and a half. And, I mean, you're welcome to stay until we're done. Let's see. Next up is DNR Recreation Passport Grant. So I was looking for different grant opportunities for our tennis court rehabilitation project, and checked on the DNR Passport Grant to see if it was still active. It is still active. And applications are due by April 1st of the year. When you look through the application requirements, they are pretty substantial. This isn't something that a park board volunteer, in my opinion, could just fill out and submit. I mean, obviously, it would have to get approved and be submitted by the village, but in order to get all that information together, it was my opinion, we would need to have a professional prepare that application. I reached out to Dale to inquire as to if one of our regular consultants could take on that capability and what it would cost. He reached out to a couple of different entities. Rowe Engineering supplied a quote of $5,000. So they're available. They were willing to do it. They provided Dale a proposal. He kind of jumped a little bit ahead of me. I was sort of just in the information gathering stage, and he put it on the agenda to be discussed at Village Council. So I had explained at the time, listen, we haven't even talked about this at Park Board yet. I was just looking for information, so it wasn't necessarily on the agenda for approval. And it was, just kind of a miscommunication. But it was good to get some feedback from Village Council on the DNR Passport Grant itself as to if we thought it was a worthwhile idea. I know Dale was very supportive in looking at the amount of money that's available. I believe it's up to $150,000. There is a local match requirement. So it's not just free money. They do require that the local entity put in a match amount. But certainly a very substantial chunk of the project that we were looking at. It's a super short time frame, and I think feedback on it from Village Council side was mixed. There was some pro, there was some con as to putting in for one this year. So I just wanted to bring it forward for awareness, potential discussion. I don't even know if I could necessarily recommend that we move forward at this point because of the really tight time frame that we have, even just to secure the funding to hire Rowe. I think there would be a number of steps. However, if this board felt like absolutely, let's go for it, we're gonna go all in, maybe village or township would cost share with us on that grant proposal as opposed to it solely coming out of the park board budget, maybe. But I did want to bring it forward and have a discussion here as to just feedback, thoughts on whether or not this is something that we should try and put our foot on the gas and do it this year, or if it's something that we keep in the back of our minds for next year, prepare, get everything in a row so that we can move forward at that time. As I was thinking about the DNR grants, I was reminded of the Spark grant that we submitted an application for several years ago. I asked Kim Streeter if she could find some of the information about it so that it wasn't in the packet. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. It wasn't kind of everything that I was necessarily looking for, but it gave a little bit more background on what it was all about. I actually would like to see the full application and any feedback that we might have gotten from DNR, because that could help inform us as to what makes a successful application for the passport grant. I did also reach out to our local grant coordinator for DNR, just asking if they recommend that we meet with them before we submit an application, or if that's frowned upon. You just don't know. I know for the grants that we administer at Eagle, it is frowned upon if you don't reach out and discuss your potential project. But every agency and every grant is different. And she said they're willing to meet if we wanted to move forward. I think it would be a good idea if we wanted to move forward, that we would schedule a time to meet with them. A potential downfall, or just something to be aware of this grant, is that it would get submitted in April. We would not know about any funding decisions probably late 2026.
Like how late? 27?
No, 2026, with the project to start in 2027. So it's not like, oh, we're going to jump on it, we're going to get it done this summer. That's not the time frame.
Well, what's the money for?
Recreational projects. So the very thing that we're doing, or propose doing with the tennis court project. So it can be for anything from park bathrooms, trails, facilities, both like indoor, outdoor facilities. So it fits really nicely with this project.
So the community would have to match the DNR funds?
I believe the match was 25%
25%
of the total.
Of 150?
So if we asked for 150, we would have to supply a 25% match. That match, I believe it's 25%. The match can potentially come from additional grant funding. So if we receive funds from local organizations, potentially that could count towards our match, or in-kind services. So if DPW did some of the work, those costs could be considered part of the match. So it doesn't have to be straight cash. So, there's a little bit of flexibility there.
I think we're behind our 8 ball here. There's a lot of questions.
It'd be a lot, yeah.
I can't take it to the township board. There's no information virtually. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I'd get crucified.
Right.
So I think the smart thing here is to focus on next year, if that's a possibility, and lay out exactly what we need to do and who and what commitments have to come from the village and the township boards. And I'd like to get a little more specific as to what we're going to do with the money. We can work that out between now and next year. That would be my. Are there two passes? You got item 3 and 6 or 3 and 5?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a cut and paste error. Apologize.
Okay.
It's one less. Any other thoughts or feedback on that? Yeah, I think that it is very worthwhile. And we can take our time to build up to potentially applying for this grant or other grant opportunities.
I did reach out to Caitlin from Wade Trim. They do the same thing.
Yeah,
And
that's
she
who
knew
I
that-
thought of first, was Caitlin.
And I thought she gave Dale a estimate.
Yeah, she might have. It just didn't.
Yeah.
He
I
didn't
saw
get
the
it
5
in.
game, 5,000.
Didn't get to me in time to, or he didn't get to him in time to put in our packet, and then he went on vacation. So
Yeah, okay.
I haven't had a chance to reconnect. I don't know if you heard any numbers from
No.
Caitlin. Yeah. But it'd be good to understand, get a few different quotes, and then we can build that in for the budget next year.
Yeah, I don't know that jumping on 5,000 right now.
Yeah, it sounds a little scary. It's a big chunk of our budget.
There are grant writers that would take a percentage of the grant when it costs you anything to apply. There's other outfits out there that do that kind of stuff. That's attractive too. So, and there's 2 opportunities for the police department and the fire department through the Michigan Township Association for a grant. And that's why I approached some of the members of the board to work with the village and hire a grant writer for all the entities that we could possibly go after, and not just cherry pick.
Okay.
It's because there's grant money out there. According to when we were working with Roe, they always said there was a lot of grant money out there. We're just not doing anything to get it. So it would be nice if we went after more than whatever might be out there. But I do know there's MTA is working on police safety equipment and fire department safety equipment. We haven't touched that either yet. So.
Okay.
We're gonna table that.
Yeah, and I think I'll continue to get information from Dale about costs for different grant writing
Okay.
opportunities, and just so we can understand and budget for the future if we want to apply for this grant in particular or others. What kind of costs should we be thinking
And both
about?
boards will have to know the community commitment. You gotta be careful what you wish for sometimes,
Right.
if you can't afford it.
Right, and hopefully we can be messaging with our boards that it's very unrealistic to think that we're going to pay $0
Oh, I agree.
for a major renovation. There will be a cost associated with it, and we have to be realistic about it. And I think for a long time we just didn't have that recognition. There's just this assumption that it was not going to cost anything. So. We just need to be realistic about that. Most grants are going to have some type of match. Okay. Park employee job description. So Dennis, you brought this to Township Board. I brought this draft to Village Council. As we discussed, to get some feedback from both entities, and then we hadn't had a chance to take a look at it and discuss it as a board either. Appreciate Jen for putting this together for us, so we had a starting point to talk about, to discuss, to kind of figure out what might be an appropriate number of hours, what that role would be, what those job duties would look like. But of course, I think it's important to understand the feedback from both of these entities, because our current park board budget does not support the hiring of an employee. I mean, we barely can do much of anything with our current budget. So I didn't want to get too far down this road without, spending a lot of time putting together job description and then only to have our hopes dashed. So Dennis, maybe you can describe some of the feedback that you heard from
I've got
Township?
positive feedback from the township.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd like to go through some of the bullets, because when I take this back to the board in March, I want this finalized. I said, I'm gonna bring back the final, because this is so darn close. You did a great job on it. There's 3 bullets that I think I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
But, yeah, I think you're right, Mindy. There's positive feedback. We need a park manager.
Right.
And Jennifer wrapped it right up as a seasonal job, and it just fits perfectly. I think it does. And I did get positive feedback. Not 100%, I can guarantee that. And I won't get 100% when I go back in March,
Uh-huh.
but that's okay too.
Right?
I think both the township board and village board have to come to terms with the fact we want to do something with that park for the community, and it's gonna
Right.
cost money. That's all there is to it. If they don't want to do anything, then they
It'll
can
stay the way
face
it
the
is.
wrath of the community, as far as I'm concerned.
Correct, yes.
But a couple bullets, I got your version 3, Jennifer?
Yeah, I think that's the latest one, yeah.
The
This
first
is
bullet
the latest
of
one.
managing the pavilion rentals, I think you've got a very good process in place with Pam doing that. I think we could strike that.
But we're gonna we've been using the village, but I would be shocked if we don't start getting billed for it by Dale. I think that he's, in fairness, because he's done that for us for the DDA, where if we use something, you're getting charged for it now, you're not getting anything free. So I think that if we use Pam, I would not be surprised if he started billing us for that too.
I don't
time.
disagree with it. I asked
Yeah.
her this morning if that was in her job description, and it's not.
Mm-mm.
But if you have a seasonal guy that doesn't have an office, doesn't have all the kind of stuff that
Yeah.
would take managing that sort of thing.
I agree, because otherwise it's just somebody sitting here waiting for someone to come in.
Right. And he doesn't, the person's, we're working out of his home most of the time. But if you got something in place that's functioning and she's working directly with a DPW, yeah, I asked her if that's in her job description. It isn't now. So
Yeah,
you're gonna pay the park manager or you're gonna pay Pam to do it. You're gonna pay somebody. That's only fair.
yeah. I just want to pause you guys right there. If you want to come up and have your agenda signed, we can let you go.
You're gonna give them 30 minutes on it.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Any of us can sign.
You're good.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate you guys being very respectful and listening the whole time.
Yeah. Thank you.
I've never been to one of these before. It's kind of nice to know what's exactly going on.
Good.
Hey, come back anytime.
Right.
Free time.
We're always looking for volunteers too.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
So, yeah, I think Pam,
Yeah.
I'd like to leave that in place because it's functioning.
It's
It's on her computer.
a good
and-
process. Yeah.
I don't know how much that would cost because you had 17 rentals last year.
19.
And she's also doing the work orders for mowing the lawn and doing everything that the DPW does out there anyway.
She was not supposed to be doing that, and I think this is a temporary thing. I don't know if they would be willing to do it permanently, because Roberta always put in the work orders.
That's not what she told me. She
Well-
told me she'd get them from Roberta.
Right.
Yeah.
And then-
She puts them in because
and then
Roberta
the billing
couldn't
comes
put them
right
in.
back to
Oh, yeah, so Roberta would submit them to
To
Pam, and then Pam puts them in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we developed, I don't know, process, but we had in writing that it would be the park board secretary that would put in the orders. So if we need to change that, Melissa, we could,
I don't,
yeah, we can change that too. So
Who would you change it to, maybe?
it will, one of the park board members.
Or the man, or the operations
Correct.
manager?
Correct, yes. So if we had an operations manager, they would put in the order.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we can strike bullet 1?
Yes.
Bullet 3, I don't know how that person would do that either. I'm just throwing that out there. What is it meant by social media accounts?
Like Facebook.
I think the Facebook,
Mhm.
whatever we added to our agenda for
Mhm.
number 8, I don't know how that Facebook authorization works. It seemed like there was a lot of confusion about who was posting on our Facebook. But I'm
It was
still
Angie.
very-
It was Angie.
It was
Yeah.
Angie, because she sent us that email so later.
It was
It was
Angie.
Angie. Angie was posting on our Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And she had signed, there's a policy
Mhm.
that you sign off on. But village staff also apparently have access to it, which is appropriate.
Mhm.
You know, the designated person wasn't available to make a post. But I think that would definitely be part of what I would envision the park manager would promote events through social media.
It's like music in the park tonight. Come out to the park and enjoy music in the
Mhm.
park
This
tonight
is the
from 7 p.m. to
sponsor.
9 p.m. Here's our band, or here's our concert, here's our event. Or,
Correct. Yeah.
so something like that, I guess, is what I was envisioning.
Mhm.
Or if we started hosting more community type events out at the park,
Yeah, promoting
a
those.
rental for a community.
Taking pictures and uploading them afterwards. That just as a way to, like, build that social media presence,
Mhm.
get it in front of the community so people see
Mm-hmm.
that the park is being used.
Yeah. Any improvements that we make, hey, look, we have
Exactly.
made this improvement at the park. Come out and enjoy it. And it, per the whatever the policy is that we're going to review
Yes.
tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, just promoting the park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here, look, we've installed this new garden.
Yes.
We've installed these new
Hey, we
trees.
need volunteers.
Hey, we need volunteers. We're hosting an Earth Day event. Come out and join us.
Mhm.
Things like that, I guess, is what I was
Yes.
envisioning
Yeah.
with that bullet.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one I got is grant writing. This is beyond what I would think a scope of work for an operations manager to be. We've already talked about how complicated grant writing is. I think we need to strike that. I don't even know how. In my old job, you had to have standards to promote somebody or counsel them. That's a challenge for anybody. I don't know how you would evaluate somebody on grant writing. You know what I mean? I'd like this person to focus on the park.
Mhm.
Grant writing, I think, should come back to this board in combination with the two township board, the township and the village board.
Well, I think there's different levels too. There's like little local grants, and then there's major DNR grants. So there could be something local with For Community Foundation or something that doesn't require engineered drawings or a high level of information. I think that's what I was envisioning, is that this person could also be researching what funding is available, how could we apply for it. If it's something simple and easy, maybe they could write it up. So that's kind of what I was envisioning, not necessarily being solely responsible for those really high level
right, I'm good.
submittals.
You good, Jennifer?
Yeah, and I think that's where it came from. Mindy, you had suggested that via email, and so we wanted to include something in that scope.
Yeah, and it could be, getting the supporting information for a grant. So maybe grant writing was a little bit, too much in depth, but like provide support for park funding project initiatives.
Yeah, or research and funding park projects,
Yeah,
strike grant writing. Is that what you're
Yeah,
proposing?
or
we
like
could
put provide support for grants.
Writing
Funding.
proposals. We could put like writing proposals and researching funding for park
Mhm.
projects.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, we can, yeah. Let's do that.
I'm good with the rest of it. I'm going back in March with this thing.
How did everyone feel about the proposed wages? That was something I had pulled a lot of different, different similar type positions from all over Michigan and tried to find something that I thought would be reasonable for a seasonal type position without overshooting what we were looking for. And so I was looking for feedback on that. Again, this is just something I put together as a thought starter
Mhm.
to start conversation and then put those numbers together in the email so we could see what that equated to based on 30 hours a week for a seasonal type position. And so I wanted, get feedback on what everyone felt about that. Did we think that was reasonable? Would it draw the right type of candidate?
I like the $18 an hour, you get what you paid for. And then, like I say, an annual review and it gets a raise, or the person gets a raise to a certain amount if they're doing a good job. I mean, you start at 18, that's kind of typical in the township deputies positions. I think 18 or 20, whatever it is, but No, I think you wanna, I'm fine with 18. I think our board, not 100%. I know for that, for sure, but
I
I
think
would start with 18.
I couldn't even with a straight face go any lower than 18.
No,
Yeah,
I can't either.
Our student assistants where I work make 17, 15.
Okay, and see, and that's why I wasn't sure, so I
Yeah.
mean, it kind of ranged when I pulled those similar type positions, so maybe, right, maybe that's too low, do we need to advertise higher?
And so, some feedback that I heard from village council was I think a nice parallel that they saw was similar to how our downtown development authority runs, where there's an executive director. So this person is in charge of organizing events, like making things happen, putting together the agenda and the packet for the board. And that, I think along with that discussion was a little bit of pushback on, should this be seasonal or should this actually be a year-round function, maybe less hours in the winter months, but trying to attract someone to be seasonal only, but also have these organization and project management skills is kind of tough. So that's just like some feedback that I heard from village council is, what direction do we want?
I don't disagree with that because I like to have the ice skating going too.
Yeah, that's a good,
skating rink.
that's a good example of, like a wintertime activity. And you and I both know that Sled Hill is busy
Yes.
almost every single day.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
think-
I think there's more kids in the park in the winter than in the summer
Yeah.
sometimes.
According to
Especially when they're not in
Brian,
school this year.
he picks up a lot of busted up sleds and stuff up there, and
Oh, yeah.
it's been a great winter this year.
Oh, yeah, my daughter like sleds
I'm
almost every day.
I'm not opposed to a full annual.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
Seasonal's a good start, but I sure like the idea of having the ice rink.
Yeah.
We gotta do better with the ice rink in
I
the
know.
future.
Oh, that was
Agreed.
so sad.
It was very disappointing this year, and just a lot of different things
I
happen
have that on there, but yeah, I know.
at once.
I think that would be on my list of project improvements, and probably, and potentially looking at synthetic material for an ice rink, because you depend on Mother Nature to freeze that thing. And there's other parks that don't depend on Mother Nature, but they've
Yeah.
got the bucks to do that,
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and I think the ice rink is a good example of something that happens in the winter that we really have more potential than we're
Brian said it
taking
gets a lot of
advantage
uses. The kids put the skates back. I don't even know where the skates are.
I think realizing now in hindsight how much Terry did.
Organizing the skates, keeping
That
that.
ice rink, yeah, when
Mhm.
we went and looked at it, I mean, I see the ice rink's not on here, and we're kind of deviating from the conversation here, but when Corey and I went and looked at it, it was just, there was no saving it for this year.
Yeah, which is too bad. But that, could be a function of
Mhm.
an employee is maintaining the ice rink.
Yes.
So that does kind of move it from seasonal to potentially more of a year-round.
Like a part-time, do we want to just change this and scratch seasonal and make it part-time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just scratch the seasonal and make this part-time park operations manager.
Right. Yeah, and
Keep it under 30 hours, because I think if you go over 32 consistently, then you have to offer benefits. Keep it part-time park operations manager.
Right.
And
I
it's
think we
not
should.
seasonal now.
Yeah.
Do you think that the boards would be open to that?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
we're gonna press them a little bit, at least on my side.
You've already pitched the idea and they're interested, right? Now we
Mm-hmm.
say, wait a minute, we're gonna expand this.
Yeah, and
Because
that's
here's where we can grow it.
And that was
Right.
some feedback that I already had heard from Village, so I don't think we'll get too much pushback on that.
I didn't approach it as seasonal or non-seasonal. I
Okay.
just approached it as this is something we want, this board wants to move forward on. And I was gonna bring back the final version when you're done with it, Jennifer.
Yeah.
In March, and get the go-ahead. And I agree with Mindy that it's gonna be outside of the park board budget,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
But I think the park as a community entity is worth investing in, and I think we need to enhance it wherever we can. So, yeah, I'm all in favor.
Part-time? Okay, yeah.
So we'll, strike seasonal from.
Okay, so part-time park operations manager.
And then, I think
So we'll
just
take
up to
seasonal.
and like primarily from mid-May through mid-October, if this is year-round.
So do you want to keep that primarily from mid-May through mid-October?
Keep what?
I think we want to scratch that.
I think
we'll
we
still
do
be
want to
up
scratch it, yeah.
to 30 hours weekly.
12 months. See, we could get ideas from a park manager right here in the February meeting.
Well, and that's when we're starting to talk about budget too, is
Right.
late winter, early spring, like we're gonna start talking about budget on both of our boards, and that's when we need a lot of help, is presenting it to us, like building that budget, talk about our priorities. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done this time of year, going into budget negotiations.
I'll find a way to say something about like more hours during the summer.
Well, you're primarily from May till December.
Well, but I mean, right now is like when we would need them putting together, but, and maybe that's something that we need to talk about or have above, is like making budget recommendations, or I don't know how to really.
Working with the businesses to secure sponsorships and donations.
Not just for Music in the Park, because there could be other events that we would want to potentially fund.
The one responsibility I am wanting to strike is assisting with the park garden maintenance, including watering, weeding, and planting as needed. I would like this person to do like more administrative stuff and not be a laborer. I think that that's something like maybe they oversee DPW doing that, but I would not expect them to be out there weeding for us.
That's a good point.
If they want to in their, during their lunch break.
Because that is really the only manual labor part that's in here, right, is garden maintenance. So, yeah, I think that's a good point of why would this one be called out over anything else?
So, right now, Pam issues the work orders to the DPW?
I think that if we had a park manager, they would be the ones just directly dealing with DPW.
They would submit a work order.
Submitting work
Yeah.
orders. Okay.
Yeah, and I also put this in the packet as well. Dennis, you provided this job description to Brian Treat, our DPW supervisor.
Yeah.
And he provided sort of a rundown of what DPW does, and I included in the packet because I thought it might be helpful.
Yeah, he sent an email back, didn't he?
Yes, yeah, it's in your packet.
Yeah,
It's the last page.
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna call. I went down to see him today, but his door was locked. Oh, okay, yeah.
So he sort of just laid out everything that DPW is responsible for. And I do think there could be a little bit of sharing of some of these duties that they're currently doing now that our park manager could do. Certainly nothing like tree maintenance and plowing and mowing, that's clearly in DPW's realm. And we don't want to, replace that or take that off of DPW. Some of the more, inspecting the park, looking for problems, passing that information along. I do think if you're naturally in the park, that person, it should be responsible for some type of maybe light maintenance, or they probably are capable of pulling a weed or fixing something easy. So we might want to build a little bit of that into here. I just don't really know what that might be. But DPW definitely does the heavy lift on the labor.
That's one thing nice about when I talked to Brian. He said, we're right here. When we
Yes.
see something that needs to get done, we get it done.
They do it. Right. I mean, if it's like fix a plank on the bridge,
Yeah.
they just do. We don't have to go hire somebody to do that.
They just go get it done, and then
Right. Right. And that's
the
Very-
benefit of having those guys there.
yeah, very appreciated. So we really do want to maintain that relationship where, they're doing, the majority of the work in the park.
So we should walk this against the job description, what, Brian, I forgot about this.
Yeah, I just wanted to provide it as information just so, and, wasn't sure how much of this was just common knowledge among park board members, exactly what DPW does out at the park, and maybe for our board members too, so that,
Right.
they understand that too.
In terms of, and not in the job description, but overall, I think it's important to consider, there are things that I just did not think of, that costs that would be associated with hiring somebody. Like Angela, we pay for a phone. They need a phone, a computer, space. Where are they going to be? If they're working from home and they're 45 minutes away, they're not even remotely close. Where are they going to work from? Is that rent, postage, maybe insurance, who knows? Paper, supplies. So I think that going to the boards, I think should be, if they're not willing to do $30,000 for this each, then we've got to reconsider or figure something out. But there's just costs I know that we're not even thinking of, but just added stuff that should be, that in addition to just their straight wages, or travel, if they had to travel from their house, are we going to cap in, I don't know that, but would they include in their hours? I mean, or
There should be no travel associated with maintaining a
No.
park.
I mean, right, travel from, if it was they're going to a training event, maybe. Those costs could be covered, but now your commute is from your home to your place of work. And
Yeah.
then anywhere else is a mile
right.
within the village.
But then if their place of work is their house,
No, that's not how work from home
Yeah.
works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. So it's,
No,
your assigned work location for me is Warren.
Same thing. My
Yeah.
assigned work location is Warren, and I get to work from home. Then you're expected. I mean, this is how it works.
You don't get
So
paid
then-
to drive to work.
right, so then we would be expecting them to have a place to work inside here.
No, they can work from a home office. They can work from a home office, and then they would be responsible for working at the park if there's an event at the park or they're performing park duties.
What about if somebody's coming in, I don't know. I just like that they're here and being able to be face to face with the public if people are coming in
Yeah,
and dealing with
I think there could be an expectation, there's a certain amount of hours that you are at the park or you are, available in the office, and we can ask what space might be available.
It's harder to track if they're actually doing what they're saying they're doing and are when they're at home versus when you're here. And with this, I don't know how right now, because it's a new job, like what's the expectation of how much time it takes to do this job? So they could easily be like, I spent, an hour, 2 hours on doing a Facebook thing because I had to do this, this, and this.
I'm very familiar with like work from home now and the reporting that we need to do. I manage 14 employees and we all have a hybrid work schedule. And so every day there's a work log that they fill out with what they're working on. It's broken into categories. Is it training? Is it program work? Is it site inspections? So it's all filled out in an Excel spreadsheet with the number of hours that they're working. So I think no matter what they would be doing, is if it's working from home or working in the office or being in the park, that would be my expectation, is that we have a very clear understanding of what they're working on. And I think that's a reasonable expectation, that we're paying for a position, that we understand how those hours are being spent.
Yeah, a lot of positions have to log hours to a certain project.
I worked in consulting and it was down to the 15 minutes, what you were working on and what project you're billing to. So it's really common.
I think what Brian told me, they're gonna build a new DPW out at the industrial park probably in 27. So they're gonna have that building available for probably office space, storage, whatever.
Someone, it could be rented out
It could
at
be rented
least,
out.
yeah.
But if I ran Jennifer's numbers for a full year, at $18 an hour, 22 or 30 hours a week, it would be about 28,000. I don't think either board is going to go in for 30,000 per board, 60,000. That's not going to happen.
About half and half.
At $60,000 a year.
Oh, I thought
That
you
ain't
said,
gonna happen.
I thought you said 30.
I thought she said it would be about 60,000.
I'm saying that in doing this, I don't think that $28,000 is like a realistic number. There are going to be times like, who knows what's going to happen, and that's what you need to be able to be willing to plan for those things. Like, what if they continue to work over 32 hours a week during the summer, and we have to pay whatever?
Can't work over 32 because we have to pay benefits.
Yeah.
So then what do we?
I think it has to be limited.
It's capped at 30 because we have to camp, unless we're offering benefits, which I don't think anyone's going to offer benefits.
Right, we're going to cap it.
It's
That's all
capped
there
at
is to
30.
it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, 18 by 30 by 52 is 28,000.
That seems reasonable.
So 28,000. So say
14,000 per
30
board.
with some flux for whatever.
Right.
And then
Right,
just
some
split
weeks
that halfway
maybe-
in the boards. That's 15 grand a piece from each of the boards.
I don't agree with that, and that's just because you have to pay for their cell phone bill,
Well, no, that's just straight wages. Of course, there's So what you add on a cell phone plan.
a computer. We have to pay for a computer for them. Nobody's I would not expect someone to use their own computer. So that internet,
You don't have to pay for internet. A computer is $1,000.
we
I-
pay for internet.
No,
That's-
General Motors doesn't pay for internet. No
Okay,
employer
fine.
pays for your internet. If you have a cell phone plan, you can hotspot it. If you want to really get down to the nitty gritty, nobody pays internet. That is not how it works. A work from home position does not pay for your internet plan. And especially on an hourly position, that's not how it works.
And we can put those stipulations, you have to furnish your own computer, whatever.
Yeah, I think
You're-
computer's not
I'd
bad.
like to see this
We
go
bought-
forward, but if you start talking over $30,000
Yeah.
for this job, you're done. We're not gonna do it.
Yeah, you don't have to
Township board,
pay
yeah.
everybody's utility for an hourly part-time job. That's,
Yeah.
that's not how those positions work.
Where we have to be, I think, employment taxes and that sort of thing is where I think.
Yeah, there'll be a little bit in there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, right, we're at 28 straight on just wages. You add in a cell phone plan, you add in 1,000 for a computer, you add in a couple thousand for the taxes and things like that. But, and then if you split that across the boards, right, you're still within 15 to 18,000 apiece from a board, I would think.
I don't agree, but that's just even taxes, I didn't even think about taxes. I mean,
Well, I
we
don't-
run a small business, we have there's 2 employees, and we're paying like 5,000 or 4,000 in taxes. That's not unreasonable.
For
So,
a part-time.
no, I'm just saying like a
at
part, like
$18 an hour?
I like a piece of that. I mean, how much? I think to say like $5,000 a year for taxes is not. I don't know. I think that would be something that you would have to consider. Do we need to have any kind of insurance for them, like workman's comp or anything like that? Is that something that they would need? Or insurance for them as a person? Liability insurance? Like, I don't know. Is that stuff that
I
needs to
think
be?
it'd be covered by the village policy.
You think the village is gonna pay for that?
I think they're, so how does Angela's get paid? From,
Oh, we pay for it, the DDA. We pay, and we pay the village.
Well, I think you would anticipate, like Jennifer's got from May, maybe October, maybe September is gonna be the high hours.
But this
Winter
is,
hours are gonna be really low. You're not gonna be working 20 to 30 hours a week
Right, you're not gonna be 30 in December and January.
or November.
this is
Probably
5 months
February.
though, this isn't
So
even 6.
I don't think you're gonna see, it's gonna be a tough sell. More than 15 grand for the township. That's gonna be a tough sell. And I think we're gonna learn by it. I think we need to get out there and try it. And I think there's certain expectations that that person has to bring to the table if they want the job. Probably 90% of the people out there have their own computers. So, we'll work something out.
I mean, I, on the computer, I think I pushed for village council to have computers because of FOIA. That if you're using your own device, then you are opening up your own device to be subject to FOIA. And so it's just easier if it's completely separate. Then you won't have to worry about viruses or their computer being broken or anything like that.
This
So-
is 5 months too, so that's add another 2 more months onto that. This is a half a year, so that's putting us probably over 30,000 for a year, right?
What math are you doing?
May to October is 5 months.
I think you
No,
calculated the
30,000
whole
is
year.
for 52 weeks.
Yeah, that's every week.
Yes.
That's a
But
year.
you're not
That's
gonna,
$18
Oh, so you're
an hour.
adding, you're
That's
adding onto that.
$18 an hour, 30 hours a week for 52 weeks is $28,000.
Right.
And like Dennis said, that's 30 hours a week, every week for 52 weeks. That's not what this position's gonna be.
Right.
This would be worst case scenario, straight wages.
Mhm.
So I do think as a baseline, it's a reasonable
Yeah.
baseline.
And we would want to be informed on other costs, obviously.
Right. So,
Before a final decision. So I think your point is well made, Melissa, that there are going to be other costs. It won't just be wages. And, we should be mindful of it.
So what would be, do you think, a reasonable number that the board, like each board should be willing to contribute?
I think we don't know.
we can't.
Yeah. Like, we would have to provide the information. We don't know about the taxes, what a computer costs to maintain. They can get that for us, like in the village, they can get the cost of what these laptops cost, so, you know, we can build upon some knowledge. I don't think we can give a reasonable or informed estimate right now. We say, this is the wages, but consider there could be additional costs, and then let the two boards hash out what those might be and what they may be willing to pay for. I mean, I can't come up, I don't know with what different tax situations might come up about, or what type of insurance coverage is needed. But I imagine our leadership
Someone in the village has probably hired someone
can
recently.
figure that out for us, right? We just hired someone, so.
I'm sure that I'm sure someone was just hired recently in the village, and they can probably pull that and see what those
What those costs
extra
would be.
costs were.
How much would it be to add on to additional cell phone, you know, that sort of thing. Or I think a lot of employees just get reimbursed. They use their own plan,
Yeah, and you
But
can
get-
submit for reimbursement,
but get a monthly reimbursement as opposed to
like a
supplying.
stipend, sort of.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
That could be one way to approach it too, yeah.
Yeah,
Instead of having to purchase outright, here's a phone and a plan,
everybody's
we'll
got
give
cell
you,
phone. Yes.
we'll give you like a monthly reimbursement stipend
Mhm.
that you can claim for hours against your own cell phone bill.
That would be a better way to go, because the person you hire the first year might not want the job the second year.
Yeah.
And you already bought a computer or whatever. I think it's
For phone,
reimbursement.
yeah.
So let's
May
do
be
that.
more reasonable.
You get $50 a month towards your cell phone bill.
Yeah, or whatever, you know, we can look at what we're reimbursing our village employees. I don't know, on township side, if you guys do anything like that.
You guys are more full-time.
Yeah, we have full-time
This is
staff.
part-time,
Yeah.
this is part-time, yeah. So I think $15,000 from the village and the township is probably gonna be reasonable.
I think so.
And I don't think anything higher than that is gonna be a tough sell. It's gonna be a tough sell for the township.
What happens if it's over 15,000?
I can't see it going over 15.
I mean, it
I'm
could,
just saying the
We
possibility.
control the person's hours. We
No, I'm just saying the
control work.
extras. What if we need the person to do these responsibilities or carry out these things, and we don't know how many hours they're gonna get? But I'm just saying,
I think we cap it.
we cap it, but what if we need, I'm not saying that more hours than this, but if we get to the full, how many, 30 hours, or did you say?
Up to 30. So you can't go
Yeah.
over 32 for like 8 straight weeks or something like that is like the federal rule, and then you have to provide benefits. So you cap it at 30.
Yeah, no,
Our students, we only let work 29 a week. I don't know.
This is like a safety net, yeah. So you just don't even cross it. So say cap it at whatever, we're gonna say up to 30, whatever we wanna do. And then whoever's gonna manage it, we'll have to determine who manages that schedule and those hours.
Right.
We will not let that person work or claim over 30 hours.
Right.
The duties will not exceed.
Right, and it could set summer hours, winter hours, so in the
Right.
winter, maybe it's dialed back to 15 hours, a week, you know,
And that's
whatever
what I'm
that
thinking, we'll need
supports.
verbiage to say, more hours in the summer versus the winter or something. I'm
Yes.
trying to think of like a
Right.
creative, flowy
Right.
way to say that. Hours
Mhm.
will be higher
And
in the summer.
maybe give it a range of, this to this, many hours, dependent, season dependent. So like maybe it's 20 to 30, seasonally dependent, something like that.
Yeah, I like that, okay.
That way,
I'd be
that way they're
surprised.
not counting on like, oh, I'm
Right.
Like I get 30 hours every week.
right, and it's
Right.
like, oh no, not if you don't have enough work to do, right?
Mhm,
Mhm.
mhm.
And that gives us a little more cushion too.
You gonna take a shot at that, Jennifer, and we'll move forward.
What's that?
We're wrapping that up, and,
I got it, I'm taking notes.
okay.
Discussion, so got a good direction to come back with a revised job description.
Mhm.
Next steps, we take this,
I'm taking it to the board in March.
I'm gonna work on it tomorrow afternoon.
You know, you got a couple weeks.
Yeah,
I'll get it out, I mean, can we still communicate by email if I make some edits and send it?
yeah, make some edits and send it out.
Okay.
I think we're not gonna have a lot of changes based
Mhm.
on this discussion.
Right. Biggest change is it's
Strike a few, change some words.
12 months, not seasonal, so.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then,
I
yeah,
can see January and February, 6 hours a week would be
we,
a lot of time.
we will take the revisions to the board for feedback, and they might have more information for us, Melissa, on like extra costs that we need to consider, and that's what this process is about, is like, we'll get more feedback, they might have thought of additional things that we haven't yet, so we'll have a good idea.
And I'll try and mock up some different hourly scenarios. I mean, run it out through the year and just kind of see what that would look like, and I'll put that in the email too.
I also, I'm not trying to be negative about this. I'm just, this feels a lot like what we're doing right now. Like we have to, if we're gonna operate like a full board and having like our what we're overseeing flourish, we can't, if the township, you're saying that they might not go over like 15,000, and I'll be honest, I watched the meeting and it was disappointing, some of the comments from the other board members, and I worry that they're not gonna support this. So I think that that's important, like if the township isn't willing to, get to that on top of the 17.5, what are we gonna do here? Because essentially this board becomes non-functional, like all these things between us, we can't just divvy these things up. It's burnout, I'm not free labor.
That's a part of getting this guy started.
I know,
That's the whole thing.
I think if we have this, and I think that, I just hope that you're stressing, like, it's gonna cost 15,000, like, that would be probably a low number if I'm gonna, it costs so much money to have an employee, you just don't think about the extras and that are added into these things, so I like stressed at the meeting because I did not hear some things that were like hiring somebody to do, why can't we piece it out? Music in the park for like $1,500, like that's disappointing because I don't know that the board understands everything that we do because it's just pieced out, like it's a lot, and we just do it because we're like used to doing it, separating it and doing this labor because we want to be on this board, but that's not feasible, especially with the board that we have right now, the limited number of people. Like it's not, I know that like Jen, you've put in so much work and I know that you're like willing to do all this stuff, but like to say that it still falls on our board for several years, like down the road, that's hard. I mean, that's going to be hard to get people to stay on this board.
Well, we do need to start doing this recruiting. We need to get a post out that says, hey, we are looking for new people to join our board.
Yes, yeah, like, we have not done that yet.
Mhm.
Like, we're in compliance with the ordinance and the bylaws with the current number of members that we have. But that's not to say it's sufficient and that we shouldn't advertise and, ask for more members. More the merrier. Everyone's welcome to this party. So I think that's a good point too, of something that we need to advertise. It's like, get some more people involved. It's helpful not to do free labor. but to be involved in the community, help make decisions, help guide the direction of what they want to see in the park. Because we hear a lot of feedback about what people would like to see. You just need some help to get it done in terms of financial assistance as well as people to get things done. But I think it is helpful. You're going to take this to township board. I'll take it to village to come and just hear the comments from both of the boards.
It's a work in
Speak up.
progress. It's-
Mhm.
We can't anticipate, we gotta throw it on the table and adjust to whatever the feedback is, but we gotta make it happen. In my opinion, you gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
let's
And-
work through it. I mean,
And if it's
we're not gonna get
enough-
100% from both, either board, but we're not looking for 100%. We don't need 100%.
I think
I think we can make it work.
council has been very generous in the past and contributing to the park and increasing contributions. And I see that pattern continuing. So there's a lot of value in the park from council. So, and I will work to keep that going. All right, so we have next steps. I think we can move on to, Dennis, this is your agenda item, community survey / national fitness campaign.
Yeah, the township, I guess Gary was approached by this national, I don't know if anybody had a chance to review their,
None of your attachments came through, but I did go to their website.
oh, okay, it's about the same thing. So we sat down with one of their business development managers. She's in Florida. She lives in Florida. I don't know if it's a fit for this community. If you looked at their, and I told her that. we would be working through the park board to look at that, but I did contact Caitlin about doing a survey. My view is that both the township and the village board, if we had a community survey of what, I told Caitlin, I want 2 issues addressed. What would the community support as far as enhancements to the park financially? And what would the community support out of those enhancements activity-wise? They would actually use the stuff. Those are the questions I got from a member of the township board. So Caitlin gave me a price of $1,500 to bring a boilerplate survey to this board in March. And the only problem was that she would have to have this board meet at 6 instead of 7 because she's got to be in Imlay City at 7. And then we could formulate some of the questions that the survey could ask and get it out to the community and see what enhancements there is interest from the community. Unless you've already done it. And I told her this morning, or I told her Monday, that I don't look for a time frame to advertise the survey. I look for a percentage of population response. And I threw out a number of 25% of households, not businesses and not population, households. So each household gets a survey and they send it back. That's their input, not everybody in the family. But the percentages of the survey responses are so freaking low that the township, the village, the planning commission have seen. I wouldn't put stake in the accuracy of it in any of them. So that's what I told her this morning or Monday. I said, does 25% of the households response make a valid survey? We did it on the planning commission for the master plan. I think we had 3% survey response. Okay, 6 weeks was what it took to get 3%. I don't look at a time frame. I look at the quality of the survey, and the quality of the survey is going to be the percentage of respondents in my mind. So the way the National Fitness Campaign works is their first step. Was that in their presentation? The first box is community buy-in, and in this particular community, it would be a village board and a township board buy-in to the principle of moving forward. The second thing that they do is they come out and do a site survey and make a recommendation as to if we had multiple sites where they would recommend. And our site would not fit their criteria in my mind, reading some other stuff behind the scenes. Because they want it visible to the public, and our park is not visible to the public, and neither is our ball fields out at the.
We looked at getting this, I believe, a few years ago, and it was when we were discussing purchasing the land that is right south of Creekside, but we had to pass on it because it was like in a flood zone, and so that's what took us out of not being able to apply for it. So yeah, the visibility part. Otherwise, if they would let us put it in the old ball field, well, by the,
Right.
across in the sledding hill, I feel like that's probably the space, but if it has to be visible to traffic, then that's.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't, we gotta go through the first couple steps here before. What I'd like to do is get you guys input on the consensus of doing a community survey or not. Caitlin can do it for about $1,500, but that does not, I don't think that includes mailing out the survey, just we're putting together and compiling it.
So I have some thoughts on this, and the first is that we have a master plan already.
Right.
And it's through 2027. So I think next year would be the time that we would be planning for and budgeting for that update of the master plan. I mean, I guess we could push it to the next year if we say that it expires December 31st, 2027. But I feel like doing a survey now sort of jumps the gun on the effort that was already in place to get feedback from the community, write up a plan. It supports our main goals that we already have of repurposing the tennis courts and some of the other projects that received some interest. Was the participation where we wanted it to be and feedback? Probably not. As you said on the township survey, it usually isn't. But from talking to people or other parents, I'm not hearing anything other than, what are you going to do about the tennis courts? And our playground equipment is kind of sad. Like the swings.
Oh, those ones, yeah.
Like, and we did, work to improve the playground equipment that we have now. But even those improvements, still people are like, it was okay, but it's not great. I don't know what we would hear more of than that same thing. Those are the two things I hear about over and over, whether it's on talking to other parents or it's on Facebook or, the feedback that we get on Village Council. I don't know. I'm not
So you don't
really.
think survey is necessary? I'm fine with that.
I don't think so at this point, but I'm, interested to hear what others have to think.
I think that it would maybe fit under the master plan, since we're updating it next year. I think that's when we have to do it, right?
Yeah,
2027?
yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of asks right now, so we gotta get through those.
I do hate to
And then,
spend more money right now. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm just thinking timing wise, when does the master plan have to be updated and how long would it take to execute the survey, get the results back and then implement it into the plan? Does it make sense to run the survey now to have that data to build into the master plan? Just what does the timing look like to utilize that data?
I
I think
feel,
it doesn't make sense to run it now. Because it could take most of the summer.
Because that would be my only thought, Mindy, is how long would it take us to get that data and when do you see us building that next master plan?
I think it would be part of a master plan proposal, that is the intent of the master plan, is to solicit community feedback. And if our feedback is from 2026, it's kind of already old by the time we're putting together a new master plan that would go from 2028 to
One of the things that
2032.
Caitlin did tell me is that to go for grants, money for anything like we would be interested in doing, the master plan should support
Yes.
that
Yes,
entity
you
for
are-
going off for.
You
a
are
grant.
correct. And that was kind of
So-
my point about, our top thing in the master plan is the tennis court. And I still think that is our top priority.
Okay,
So I don't know what more.
so that would be going through the recreational passport grant?
Yeah, so the recreational passport grant does require that we have a master plan on file with DNR that they've reviewed and approved. Because they're going to look at it like, is this plan consistent with your goals? They do offer an alternate route of a capital improvement program passed by the two boards that shows a commitment to financially support whatever project we'd be applying for. So a lot of the recreational grants are going to look at that master plan. And so I don't think it would matter if we had a community survey that said one thing and a master plan that said another. So that's what, to me, it makes sense to update it all at the same time instead of doing a piece of it this year and then the whole update throughout 2027 to have ready for 2028.
Well, I guess I agree with Jennifer that we should be looking at a survey. Well, I'm concerned that if we don't, for the township board is going to ask, is the community going to support, if the township, your tennis court proposal was at over $200,000. It's going to be a tough sell for the township board. The questions are going to be, is the community going to support it and financially, and are they going to use it? And what your survey is telling you, what you're telling me from the survey is this, there's an interest.
Yeah, that was the that's the top goal of the master plan.
Yeah.
So, I think we have an effective plan for our current goals. If our goals have changed to say,
When was that survey done?
the master plan, it's good for 5 years, so it must have been 2022 through 2027, right? It's online on the website. I don't know if you have a copy printed out, but that's why they are for 5 years, because the goals of the community could shift in 5 years.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the survey is valid though. That's my question.
Valid for
Do people play tennis anymore?
It's for pickleball.
Oh,
I thought it was tennis.
It is a tennis court, but the
23 through 27.
so the concept has been multi-purpose. So it could be pickleball, basketball. The Spark grant they applied for was pickleball, basketball, skate park.
Skate park, yeah.
So that instead of kind of, pigeonholing it into one use, that it would be more likely to be used if there was a couple of different uses there. So, I love surveys. I love community feedback and input. I am just hesitant to spend money on one now that I don't know if it's going to be useful or valid for the next master park
27?
plan that will be dated 2028 through 2033.
Okay, so you're not planning to publish the next one in 27, you're planning to publish the next one in 28. So we would run the survey in 27
I
to
think
publish in 28.
I think we would run this, yes.
Okay.
I think that would be the most effective way to do it. Was
Okay.
2027 to support a 2028 revised plan.
Okay. Then I think that makes sense. I thought we were trying to publish a new plan in 27, and then I would think that running a survey now would
Mhm.
still be relevant, but if we're looking to publish the next plan in 28, then I think it probably makes more sense to delay the survey.
So I think in our, so we want to be mindful of when we're budgeting for
next year.
2027, that we incorporate funding to start that or to, initiate that master plan process. I don't know how much it costs when we do, were you on the board? The master plan?
Oh, we did it ourselves. We did not give it out. And Roberta, the whole board chipped in and looked it over and made edits.
Using the previous.
The previous one, we did not pay anybody to do that. And it was kind of last minute.
Yeah,
It's not very.
I think we'll want to overhaul.
Yeah.
It would be really nice to have, that's Caitlin's specialty, right? I think it would be really great to have her. She's so familiar with the community already that,
So who did this one?
You did.
Harcourt used
We
the
all did, yeah.
template.
Roberta. Is it possible to ask Caitlin if she thinks that it would be of our benefit to do a survey now, if that would be relatable, I guess, the data to our 2028 master plan, or how long it takes to get results, if we should be starting now, a survey is needed right now, or we should be holding off a little bit longer. Do you know if she had any input on or said anything about that?
I can ask her, but I guess the way I looked at it is we would conduct a survey in 26 and start on the master plan in 28 or 27 and publish it in 28. Plus, well,
Maybe you can
I can ask
talk
her
to,
that.
yeah, maybe we won't make a decision tonight, talk to her, get some more information, what does she recommend? Time frame. When
Yeah.
should we be thinking about starting the whole process and what those pieces look like?
I don't think it's, in my view, trying to sort through how you would do this. It's not going to be an easy survey. I don't know how you formulate questions to let the feedback come to you without saying, hey, how about a splash park? Or how about you don't suggest those things. You try to get them to feed that information to you.
Yeah, and people
that's-
who put together surveys have that
Will do that,
expertise
yeah.
of
And they
not
will-
leading the answer.
Right, you don't want that, because you're looking for taxpayers' money to support what the taxpayers want, what the community wants. And I don't want to make that decision, the township board doesn't want to make that decision. They want to hear and that's the questions I got right away when we talked about tennis courts, pickleball courts, and the other stuff that's already on the proposal. How do you know they're going to use it? The cost is pretty high.
But it's very popular. I think that's.
Pickleball is pretty popular, and I know basketball is.
I think those are very safe bets. It's not some little niche that we're going for there.
We did the the survey for the township master plan, which I didn't think we left out there long enough. Water activities seem to come back consistently. And that was just personal comments. It was not a question. It was just written input. But when you categorized them by percentage, and the percentage of respondents was extremely small. And that's why my argument was we didn't keep it out long enough, even though it was 8 weeks. So
It's real tough to get survey responses back.
You'll need a door-to-door salesman to help you out.
Caitlin could come to our board meeting in March if we wanted to hold it at 6. She could bring some boilerplate and answer everybody's question if you guys wanted to do that. Otherwise, I'll just try to,
Will she do that for free?
well, she's on her way to Imlay City.
Maybe talk to her first.
Yeah.
Get some feedback, and then we can figure out where to put her on the agenda if as we get closer to that March meeting, if we think it's.
Yeah, the only challenge would we'd have to move it up till 6 o'clock. And that's not my problem. That's, you guys work for a living. I don't. So that might put a burden on you guys.
It's not that bad.
All right.
So National Fitness Campaign, is there anything else you wanted to bring to it, just for?
No, their first step is to see buy-in from the community.
Okay.
And they do provide grant money, but there's strings attached. And for me, when I look at that kind of stuff, that's not something I'm gonna do. I don't know if the community would support that. Because you've got the fitness centers, you've got Anthony Medley's place, you got one here in town, you got a new one up in Imlay.
Yeah.
But you would look for that younger generation to, and maybe the football team, maybe the baseball team. I don't want to speak for the community, but that's something I wouldn't be doing. But they did say you could hold yoga classes there and Zumba classes and that sort of stuff, but you'd have an instructor come in and do that, and that's out of my league, so.
Maybe that's our park manager.
Yeah.
Part-time Zumba instructor.
Yeah.
You know, there's always people running up and down that sled hill.
Oh, the football team
Is there?
goes.
They're
Yeah.
crazy. I look up my deck and there's always someone run up and down that sled hill.
Sometimes it's my kids.
It makes me mad.
I don't remember our fitness talk, or our survey talking about fitness equipment, but water sports was one of the ones that they liked.
I don't know where we're gonna get that.
Well, splash parks, they like splash parks.
They're so expensive though. I know that was always our former park board president's dream, was to have a splash pad, but they're just crazy expensive.
I feel like 500,000.
Are they really?
And then
Yeah.
you've got to pay for the water and then water disposal. It's,
We have a creek. We can go splash.
I'm like, just
We'll
stay,
put a little dock. We'll install a dock
just
for 'em.
stay upstream of the wastewater treatment plant is
Yeah.
what I tell my
There we go.
kids.
Stay up top, put a dock in. when you have
Wash
a
your
splash-
hands when you get
Splash
home.
pad. The natural type.
Kids love that creek. They sure do.
They're always in it.
Yeah, but that's good feedback to hear, Melissa, that you guys already kind of looked into this concept and the visibility didn't
Oh,
align
yeah,
with their
yeah.
goals.
We were hoping that we were going to be able to buy that property.
It's so unfortunate that just
Also, they
won't sell.
bumped it up. It was out of our price, went out of our price range too. So, unfortunately.
Next item on the agenda, Earth Day event. Not really much of an update. Tree shrub sale, the native tree shrub sale is still going on. I think we probably just ran out of time at our last meeting to have a chance to talk about it very much. We had talked about a coordination with a planting event on Earth Day. I think feedback would just be, do we want to move forward? What kind of funding would we like to commit towards the event? I'd be happy to look at plant selection, sort of similar to what we did with American Tree. We just kind of looked and picked things. The prices are just very reasonable because you're getting, little sticks.
Yeah.
Like you're not, we've picked established trees well on their way. This is a lot different. This is, very small, but very like $25, per shrub or per little tree. So much more reasonable. And the last time I looked, they had a pretty wide selection through Oakland County. Just looking for feedback. If we want to proceed with that, what level of funding do we want to commit to purchasing trees or shrubs? If we're kind of leery on spending money, then we could simply have cleanup day or participate in Earth Day another way.
What do you think is a reasonable budget?
Spend Last year, we spent $500, I think a little less than $500 on flowers to plant at the event. We had a ton of volunteers. I could hardly keep them all busy, which was amazing. I was really happy to see it. And I think this is a little more straightforward. It's like dig a hole and let's put this little baby tree in it. And then I think, Jen, your expertise would be helpful in some plant selection.
Yeah, we looked at the prices. I was trying to remember when I was looking at the website. I think they were, anywhere from $10 to $20, depending on what you selected.
Yeah.
Right, and we'd be looking at trees and shrubs.
Shrubs. Mm-hmm.
And we'd have to be mindful about where we planted them and
Yes.
probably anywhere around, perimeter of the park and then out.
Mhm.
I think 500 probably go a long way. That would be a lot, I think, for
yeah,
trees and shrubs. So
I
I don't
think
think
so.
we need to spend that much.
I agree. I think maybe
with flowers and bulbs, you can definitely do that and spread it out. But I think if we're talking trees and shrubs, we wouldn't need to spend that much.
Mhm.
And I think we could incorporate that with a cleanup. I was just looking at the calendar, so I couldn't remember what day Earth Day was. It's the 22nd. So would you be looking to do it that weekend after? Okay.
Is it the 25th? I think that's the day that we have it.
It's the Saturday after Earth Day.
Yes.
Okay. I will be out of town that weekend. But I support if you want to buy stuff and run an event. I will be back in town by Sunday, but I will be out of town on Saturday.
Yeah, I think, but we want to maybe scope out some locations ahead of time.
Yeah.
Similar to what we did there, and then have it kind of laid out.
Mhm.
This is where we want things to go. But say 200.
I was gonna say 200 or 250. I think seems. What do you say, 200?
200.
Sure.
It's a pretty small amount. I think that's very
I think
reasonable.
up to 200, and I
Mhm.
think a good mix of trees and a couple shrubs, flowering, fruiting, those types, good for our pollinators and natural friends, and then incorporate like a cleanup activity and make a nice little Earth Day event out of it. It'd be kind of fun.
What is Earth Day? What's the date?
25th of April?
26th?
25th.
So where's my calendar? Oh, the day of Earth Day is actually like the 22nd, but the event is the 25th. So it's a Saturday. So we have a motion for budget to purchase trees and shrubs for Earth Day.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
200, are we 200 or 250? 250.
250?
Just think, we don't have to spend all of it, but at least we'll have it there.
Yes, yes, not to exceed.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so we have a motion from Melissa, supported by Jen.
Yep.
An amount not to exceed $250 to purchase trees and shrubs for the Earth Day event on April 25th. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, I will look through that. I'll create maybe a proposed list and send it to you, Jen, for some feedback. And go from there. I'll work with village staff on making that purchase.
Perfect. Thank you.
Should be good. If anything comes up, I will let you know. Like if they all of a sudden sold out. I know Lapeer County Conservation District also does one. Macomb County also does one. So if it's not Oakland, I will let you know. Next item on the agenda is Facebook authorization. So as we now know, Angie, our previous park board chairman and vice chairman, had the login credentials and had signed off on the social media policy to be able to add items to the park Facebook page. So I think it would be smart to delegate a new person to take on that responsibility and sign off on the form that the village has created. So looking for volunteers to whoever would like to do that. I'm sure Dennis is highly interested.
Pardon me?
I'm just joking. If neither of you want to do it, I will.
But I'd be
Feel
interested.
free. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Great.
I'd be interested.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, I didn't mind posting last year when we were doing the music in the park stuff, so.
Perfect.
Yeah, if anyone-
I'm going to make a motion that Jen is going to be our Facebook point person, and will fill out the appropriate forms and get authorization.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So motion passes. Thank you, Jen. We will, again, start posting.
Yeah.
To our Facebook page.
Yeah, just let me know what that form is.
I'll reach out to village staff and have them get that form to you
Okay, that sounds good.
and
Thank
the
you.
credentials. Thank you. Okay, we have no more public comment for non-agenda items. Moving on to board comments. We've had quite a bit of discussion tonight, but anything further?
Oh, I'm good.
Jen?
I think just real quick, just to recap the ice rink, because we didn't put it on
Yes,
here. So
yes.
I sent my email
Mhm.
update. Corey and I ran over there, took a look at it. Unfortunately, in a really bad condition. In short, it looked like DPW had set up the rink, and at some point, the liner, which had been draped over the outside structure, had blown back in on itself. And then with all the snow and ice,
Yeah.
it froze into the ice, and there was no safe way to get the liner out of the frozen ice, which we would have had to free it, pull it back over the structure, fill it, freeze it to make it in a skating condition. And the gate had been left open. You know, I had bugged you to get the code.
Oh,
the
yes.
code.
Brian opened it.
Okay, so it had
Yes.
just been opened?
Yes.
So it didn't look like there was any damage. I could tell people had been on the ice and on top of the liner, so hopefully there was no additional damage done to it. But then we went over to the shed. The right-hand door of the shed was completely blown off and on the ground, buried under snow and ice. So we dug that out. Most of the side panels of the shed were completely separated and it was barely standing. So we pushed it back together as best we could. Most of the fasteners are missing and we didn't bring any tools with us to properly fix it. So we pushed it all back together and we reset all the hinges on the door. We were able to reconnect it and close it, and we shoveled all the snow out from the inside and tried to reorganize everything on the inside. So it is closed and it
Yeah.
is standing. I would not want the public in there trying to open that door and going in and out. It is going to fall down. So we will have to address that shed. I don't think it needs to be completely replaced. Corey thought we could probably reorder the fasteners or fasten it back together, but it will have to be addressed before people are opening and closing that door and using it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, unfortunately, there was no saving the rink. The shed needs to be addressed sometime this spring, so we just locked it back up and kind of left it that way.
Yeah. Man, it's like still cold. So
I know.
it's like, I think it's supposed to be 50 tomorrow. I don't know if maybe if you wouldn't mind keeping an eye
Yeah.
on it, and letting us know when DPW could probably just put it away for the year.
Yeah, go see if it melted. Yeah, I know most of the ice in my pond hasn't melted. I can go run up there and see. I can check it and see. I just don't want to pull too much on it, you know? and-
Yeah, we don't want to damage it anymore.
Yeah, I'll go check on it. I'll pop through this weekend
Yeah.
and see how it looks and just take a look at it. But
Because it's, best if we can get it rolled up and put away, then we do. So it just lessens the exposure time. So if you wouldn't mind just
Yeah.
keeping an eye and letting us know
yeah, no problem.
what's happening with it, I think that would be helpful. And try again next
We'll
year.
try again next year, yeah, so we'll just have to think, there's gotta be a better way to set that up. If that's the rink that we're gonna continue to use, when they put the liner out, we'll have to like sandbag around the outside of it or something. Just putting a plastic liner around a structure like that, it is bound to move.
Yeah.
So, yeah, unfortunately, that's how we found it, so. But yeah, I'll check on it this weekend.
And as far as the shed goes,
Yeah. I'll check it out in the spring and see.
yeah, if what kind of repairs need to be made.
Yeah.
Get some volunteers.
We'll see what we can do. I'm sure we can find some way to put it back together. I hate to have to replace the whole thing, but it definitely needs to be
Some
restabilized.
TLC, yeah. Sounds good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you, Jen, for all the work you did putting together the music in the park
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah, absolutely.
the job description.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I do not have any further comments, so it's 9:49. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
We'll go with Dennis.
Dennis, we'll go with
All right.
Dennis.
We have a motion by Jen, support by Dennis. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nope. Motion passes. Meeting adjourns at 9:50. I need some bathroom break.